Hey everyone, welcome to Ask Nutritionist Deepa. And the question that I will be answering today is, can following any diet that leads to weight loss is beneficial for our long-term health? And to answer that question with alongside with me is Dr. Cardiologist Shah, who has been gracious enough to come to my episode again. And this is what we want to discuss today. So, Dr. Shah, welcome, and tell us what you have seen in your practice when it comes to weight loss and different diets that people do to get there.
Yes, thank you again, Deepa, for inviting me. I think I'm starting to understand where we are going. I think right now there is a major craze about weight loss. And because of that major craze about weight loss, over the last 30 or 40 years, a lot of gimmick diet has sprung up now. We started with Atkins diet in 70s and 80s. That was pretty much a high-fat, low-carb diet. And then Atkins diet went away. And then zone diet came. And then paleo diet came. And now, for the last 5 to 7 years, the big craze is on the keto diet. But let me tell you, all these diets are pretty much a gimmick, pretty much here to stay for a few years. And then once science starts to prove that those diets are unhealthy, they will fade away. Weight loss is important, I agree, but ultimate goal is health. Health is our ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal is to live very long and live very healthy. Weight loss should be just a byproduct of that process. Weight loss should not be a primary goal, because if one wants to lose weight, if that person starts smoking, they will lose weight very rapidly, but they will die very early also. Again, the goal here is to not fit in the smaller cascade, but to live very long. So weight loss is not the primary goal anytime in my book. And keto diet, to further expand on that, keto diet has been proven now in multiple trials, particularly a recent trial in Europe, where it showed that people who eat low carb diet, they live less, and they have very chances of developing heart disease, Alzheimer's disease. Same thing applies to vegan keto also. I think vegan keto is better than the animal keto, but at the same time, the ideal macro ratio in my book, macro ratio means how much carbohydrate, fat, and protein one should have. In my book, the ideal macro ratio is carbohydrate about 70 to 75%, fat about 15 to 20%, and protein about 8 to 10%. If we look at many of the blue zones where people live 90s and 100s and very healthy, their macro ratio is in the range of what I'm describing. For example, in Okinawa, in Japan, which has the longest lifespan and health span, their macro ratio is actually almost 75 to 78% carb. And their carb comes from unprocessed sweet potatoes. So again, carb is not our enemy. Carb is actually our friend. Carb is actually the most health-producing macronutrient ever designed. As long as the carb comes from a whole food, plant-based food, that means more green vegetables, that means more beans, that means more fruits, that means more intact grains and nuts and seeds. So again, a lot of the Indians, like you said, a lot of the Indians are going towards this vegetarian keto, where they are eating a lot of eggs, a lot of paneer-based products.
Paneer and yogurt,
and yogurt. But they are not doing the right thing. I think
not doing the right things. And you do see any diet, you take any diet on the planet, people will lose weight first couple months. That's it. It's no mystery, because everybody is mindful. We call it like a honeymoon period. Everyone is happy. It's going to work out. It's the long term, not only effect, but being able to sustain on any diet is an art, I feel. how we lose weight, there's a little bit of science to it, quite a bit of science to it, I would say. But how you stretch it long term is an art. And people tend to focus on, oh my God, I need to lose weight. I need to drop from size 6 to whatever size they want to, or 16 to 6, or however you want to dissect that number, and somehow get there. But in the process, I have seen on low carb diet, people are unhappy, low energy. Okay. Why is that? Because our brain can use only carbohydrate as a primary source of energy. You know, you may have seen it, Dr. Shah, in your practice, that when somebody feels dizzy, okay, that happens if you're working in clinical environments all the time. What do? We give them spoonful of sugar or orange juice. We don't go around looking for a piece of turkey or a piece of cheese, right? because because your brain at that point needs carbohydrate. It's a universal truth, you know, that when your brain is not being, you are not able to focus, you should look what you are feeding your body. And that's one thing I have noticed is with mental fog and everything, which actually gets better on keto in the beginning, but we are again talking about long term. That's the point I want to drive in our conversation today, that yes, your cardiologist may tell you, hey, drop 10% of your body weight, come back to me, but then where you are 2 years from now. So
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you. I think initial weight loss, like you said, can be seen with any kind of diet program because you typically eliminate a lot of the processed food. You actually end up lowering your calories because you are in that honeymoon phase, and invariably you will lose some weight. But like you said, is it sustainable lifestyle for long term or not? And a lot of the people on keto actually, like you said, they start to develop a lot of the brain fog. Their energy goes down, their athletic ability go down, they're tired all the time. I think it start to affect their microbiome. And when the microbiome gets affected, their mood start to change and they start feeling kind of down on their mood. So again, I think keto diet, plus keto diet has at least the animal keto and even some of the vegetarian keto has a lot of the saturated fat. And the saturated fat will raise the LDL and that would predispose you to premature heart disease. So again, I think keto diet definitely is here for next few years. I don't think it's a long-term solution. Long-term solution is going to be whole food, plant-based, no oil diet. And that's the best diet ever designed. And I think if we listen to some of the giants in the nutrition field, like Dr. Furman, Dr. Greger, Chef AJ, we know that they've been promoting that diet, and that diet has been proven now in epidemiologic studies, even into randomized trials. That diet has been proven that improves the numbers, health numbers, the best compared to any other diet. And like I said, I have seen, fortunately, I'm old enough to see all the diets which has come and gone. Atkins diet was a prime example. When I came to America, Atkins diet was a #1 diet. Everybody wanted to do Atkins diet. There were a lot of books on it. There were a lot of protein bars, Atkins bars. There were a lot of Atkins meals. And now nobody thinks about Atkins because Atkins turned out to be one of the bad diet. Same thing is going to happen to keto diet. But who's going to bell the cat? That's the thing. I think right now the problem is people love good news about their bad habits. Correct. So right now, people with keto, because it provides them all the tasteful, unhealthy, oily, cheesy food. So they want to hang on to that minimal good news about those bad habits. But on the long term, they're going to be suffering a lot more than going on a whole food, plant-based, no oil diet.
Absolutely, because if you look at the list of allowed food on the keto diet, paleo diet, it's all the addictive stuff, casomorphin through the cheese and the dairy products and the fat and the salt. Obviously, no fat fatty food comes without salt. Nobody sits there with a bowl of butter and olive oil and eats or drinks that, right? It's always in form of something, or it's always with something that is addictive. So so it's easy to do, it's convenient. A lot of food companies have specifically designed food products for that fits the keto paleo lifestyle, and consumer want it. So it's a combination of these things which is driving the trend. Now we are sitting here today and talking about, yes, go whole food, plant-based, no oil diet. That is the key to your health. All that is good. How do we, where does one start? If my pantry is filled with all the keto shakes and bars in the world, where should I even start? Why, and how do I talk to my doctor about not recommending me keto? Because many times this lot of physicians are recommending low carb diet. Let's not fool ourselves. It's been backed by medical community, and as a patient it's very overwhelming for some of the patients to go against what their doctor is saying, and that's where the confusion is. That's where the conflicting thoughts are when it comes to making a behavior change.
No, I think I agree with you. I think right now, this is a keto tsunami. I think and all tsunamis turn to a lot of destruction. Keto is going to lead to a lot of destruction. So I think many patients are also asked by their medical provider, doctors, nutritionists, dietitians, they actually recommend keto diet. There are even a lot of societies which are promoting keto diet. So I think I agree with you. It's very hard to swim against this keto tsunami for the patients and average person. And that's where I think person like you, Deepa, I think comes in the picture, that we need to educate people. People, in my opinion, Deepa, that nutrition is one of the fields where a consumer can be as knowledgeable as the provider. And consumer can actually learn from variety of books available, variety of YouTube videos, variety of audiobooks, and make his or her own judgment. But I think my point is that if you go on a keto diet, make sure that you are following your labs, you're following your cholesterol, you're following your A1C.
Again, long term, 2 years into it.
2 years, yes. And I think many people say that keto diet may improve the blood sugar and A1C because you're not eating carbohydrate, but deep down, the insulin resistance actually is getting worse because there is a more fat into muscle, liver cells, and those fat molecules, fat globules are the one which makes insulin resistance. So again, short term, like you said, Deepa, short term you may improve your A1C, but long term you're going to make your insulin resistance worse. So keto diet definitely. But again, for the patient, they have to politely tell their doctor that I have researched and I'm following this whole food, plant-based, no oil diet, and it is working for me. And many times, people get sold on keto because the weight loss is rapid. But people don't realize that it's a lot of time it's a water weight loss. And many times that weight loss comes back in a few weeks. People will lose 4 to 5 pounds in the first 1 to 2 weeks. And you cannot lose that kind of weight on a whole food plant base. And that's the reason sometimes keto wins the battle of early weight loss. But again, we are not here to lose weight for 3 months or 6 months. We are here to live 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years sometimes, because obesity is common even in 20, 30-year-old people. So if they're going to live another 60, 70 years, are they going to be able to sustain keto or not? In my opinion, they cannot sustain the keto, not in terms of health, not in terms of the mental health, not in terms of their microbiome, not in terms of even their taste, because carbohydrates are some of the most tastiest food. I think people don't realize that our brain has been washed by this food manufacturing companies, that it's the salt, oil, and sugar, which is taste. But in my opinion, once you get hang of this carbohydrate, whole food taste, various fruits, various vegetables, various intact grains. Those tastes are the natural tastes, and those tastes are the most fun tastes I've ever experienced. In my opinion, I'm the prime example because 5 years ago, I was into, eating egg white. I was into a lot of processed food, a lot of restaurant food, and now we eat at home, whole food, plant-based, and my taste buds actually have starting to appreciate.
So this is interesting that you have done this for 5 years now, and
Yes.
before that you were kind of into the same bucket of, hey, eat low egg whites are fine, better than the egg yolks, and maybe margarine is better than butter kind of mentality. So you have seen both sides of the coin here, so to speak, and that is really a very important finding here, because you were here and now you are here. And what have you found about yourself? I mean, not only
Yeah,
in terms of
I
taste,
have
but in
lost,
health.
I lost 70 pounds.
Yes.
My A1C was 5.9 when I was on a semi-processed standard American diet. Now my A1C runs 5.1. I can run better, I can lift better, my sleep is better, my mood is better, my mentation is better. People tell me that I look 10 years younger, and all that thing happened because of the whole food, plant-based, no oil diet. And I think, and like you said, Deepa, multiple times, you said it, that it's a long term. If I had gone for the 3 months, 4 months, then I would be still at the same weight, 194. I would be still stuck with the A1C of 5.9. Maybe by now I would have been diabetic, but I did not go short term. I went long term. And in 5 years, I'm enjoying the fruits of long-term strategy instead of taking a short-term shortcut, a short-term strategy.
Do you also feel, I personally feel that I eat quite a bit of food on this diet. It's not about depriving myself. I eat a lot of food. It's not, I'm not measuring using spoons and teaspoons and 1/4 cup type of measurements here. Have you also noticed that your plate is kind of full in a nice way?
Yes,
On this diet?
because I think when we eat vegetables and fruits and intact grains and beans, the caloric density, that means how many calories per pound, is very, very low. So you are allowed to eat about 3 to 4, almost 5 pounds of food per day, and you will not gain weight. Actually, your total calorie will be about 15 to 1800 calories per day, and you will get about 4 to 5 pounds of food. Now, if you go to keto diet, that they will not allow you 3 to 4 pounds of food. And our stomach requires 1 pound every 6 to 8 hours. And we need about 3 to 4 pounds per day to get the asphyxiation feeling or the fullness feeling. Otherwise, we go hungry. And hunger is one of the sensation which nobody can resist. They can resist for a few hours, maybe a day, but after that, hunger strikes very badly, and you start eating a lot more food. So I agree with you, Deepa, that on a whole food, plant-based, no oil diet, you are actually able to, and you are allowed to eat 3 to 5 pounds of food per day. So you're always full, you're never deprived. You actually are having a great time. Let me give you an example. I saw a medical assistant. I went for some blood work, and I saw a medical assistant. And she said that her A1C is in 7s and 8s. She's 185 pounds, and she is a standard American diet eater, eating almost all different type of food. So I put her on whole food, plant-based, no oil diet just 10 days ago, Deepa, just 10 days ago. And she has turned out to be one of the best students I ever had on this journey. She has watched all my weight loss videos, 10 so far. I have 33 videos. She has watched 10 videos. She has taken notes and sent me the notes what she has taken. She's eating cleaner than even I am eating. She has lost 4.5 pounds in 10 days, and I'm so proud of her. So she has actually done as good or better than keto with all the health thing coming in. and she's enjoying it. She says, I'm having a great time. So it's doable, even doable for Indians, for Americans, and
Everybody.
this
Yeah.
lifelong habit of cooking with oil in Indian community needs to change also. What do you think, Deepa?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a no-brainer to me anymore. Many years ago, I was doubting myself because the awareness wasn't there about which diet works and which diet doesn't work. And it's just like you're saying, the storm of different diets was brewing. Now you said we are in the storm has hit the shores. We are really in the middle of it. And but now I just said something. I just mentioned somebody the other day that I said I will bet money now that if you follow the protocol, you will succeed. I'm not saying it's easy or hard. I said either way, it's going to be difficult. Either you go to the doctor and not, take PTO and not able to work, or sit here in the pain. That is hard. Or you stand in the kitchen, do some prep work, buy frozen vegetables, stir fry your vegetable. Yeah, that takes some time, but that is also hard. So I'm not here to debate if one is easy and which one is easy and which one is hard. But what I am here to talk about is this these protocols work if you put energy in it. Like your medical assistant, you said she took notes, she's complying, she's staying in touch with you, she's probably taking, I have my patients take pictures of their food so that we can evaluate, we can help each other, and even transitioning out into it, right? You don't have to turn upside down overnight, but at least be mindful and start learning like your medical assistant is doing, and get on the right path. Only then we have some hope to go to a destination. If you're just constantly taking detours and going against where you are supposed to go, how will you reach your goal? So that's kind of my take home message here, that we are not here to convert you into veganism, or we are not debating how difficult it is or easy it is, but our urge, Dr. Shah, is that, hey, be mindful, be educated, and start taking steps.
And I
You
think,
have the
Deepa,
last word.
one thing I must repeat, that as a consumer, like I said earlier, you actually have power, and you have now the tools available to be as good as your doctor or nutritionist,
Correct.
and actually sometimes even teach your doctor or nutritionist what is
Correct.
good for you, good for community, good for patients, good for the world, good for environment, good for animal cruelty. And I think there are a lot of benefits of going whole food, plant-based, no oil. So I think earlier you start, quicker you will realize the benefit. And I think weight loss will just happen. It will not be as quick as keto, but it will happen. It will be sustained, and it will last for 30, 40, 50 years.
Correct. By eating more food.
Yes.
You eat more and you lose more. That's how I sometimes tell my patients. It's the opposite. It's not a diet. I'm not, So no, that's it. So the take home message, everyone, is yes, focus on weight loss, but focus on how you are going to get to that weight loss process. And again, the consensus here is whole food, plant-based, no oil diet is the way to go for sustainable weight loss. So I hope everybody will start focusing on that and start taking the right step in right direction. And thank you, Dr. Shah. We'll meet again. It's going to be a regular session now. We'll address all these topics because it helps. It helps people to get a different perspective. And you are a practitioner, I'm a practitioner, and we have nothing to hide here, and we are here to help and talk about what works. So thanks
Yeah.
again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.